Hey guys, thanks for checking out the channel. My name's Greg if you have not met me before, and today I wanted to talk about Logic Pro, Logic plugins, and how you can make guitar sound good even if you're going direct. All right, let's get into it. Let's flip over to our production screen, and I've already chosen a couple of amps and cabinets, so let's kind of break down my signal flow first. My guitar is going direct in, I know, scary words, direct into Logic Pro through a Scarlett 2i2 interface. Right here on the left side, I have my main channel. So this is going to have my pedal board on it. And from here, I have a bus 1 and bus 2, and those are being split kind of like stereo. Bus 1 right here has a Vox, Logic's interpretation of a Vox amp. Bus 2 has, and these are panned left and right, so bus 2 is panned to the right and has a Fender amp and cab. So there's that, and I have them summing back into a stereo channel, and that channel has simply just a small room reverb. So let's kind of hear what we have so far. If I can find my guitar pick. So guitar direct in. I think with the room reverb, that kind of ties it all together. So let's hear everything direct in, absolutely no post-processing. Sounds just like a direct-in guitar. Let's bring in our amplifiers. So here's left. And let's hear right. So let's do both. I do have some of the spring reverb on there as well. Yeah, let's dive into this and let's activate our room reverb again. Kind of just ties everything together. Except for when you clip. I will go in there and fix that. Let's go down 2 dB. There we go. Cool. My thought process when it comes to this is I want to keep both levels fairly similar. So I don't want my right ear to be a little bit louder than my left. I want it to kind of sound like one amp, but very wide. So to get that, I kind of just matched levels of these two amps. So I'm hearing, and I'm actually seeing right here on the meter, I'm about a decibel higher on my right amp. So let's bring the output down. I don't want to affect the gain of this because the gain is where I'm getting that breakup. And I think I might have jumped down about 2 decibels. So let's bring that back up a little bit. Let's go -8.5. Now I'm going to refresh my meters right here. Bring it up a little bit more. Very nice. I actually kind of kept some of these the same. When you load in the amp, they come with some presets. This specific one, I did bring down the bass a little bit and the mids. I kept the highs where they were. I kept a little bit of spring reverb, I should say. That comes in these amps. Now, the presence I'm kind of watching. I want to know if I'm going to get that air. So here's presence all the way down. Now these were both at around 8 or 9, or probably 7 or 8. So the air you get from this is going to come from the presence. Let's bring this one back up. Nice. Now for amplifiers, that's pretty much it for the cabinets over here. I went with SM57 models. I wanted a little bit more space. The proximity effect is very evident, especially on this Logic Fender replica. So I wanted to pull back a little bit from the cone, so I'm not getting entirely woofy low end. So if I move this closer, you can kind of hear. It's a little bit darker sounding, but also there's more low end, so I wanted to kind of clear that up. So I brought that out a little bit. On the Vox, I kind of moved it off the cone center toward the kind of edge, just to kind of smooth out the tone, because if I'm right here, it's going to be very bright. So let's move that back out. Not all the way, just probably to the middle edge. That kind of darkens it up a little bit. Let's go a little bit further in. Cool. Now, the tricky part is kind of building a pedal board in Logic. By nature, I feel like digital pedals are kind of tricky to work with. So let's turn all of this off. Realistically, I'm only using a couple of these in here, but let's break it down. Let's add in the pedals. So what do I have going on right here? So I'm actually not even using this vintage drive, so I'm going to leave it there though, because I might pull it in later. First off, let's turn all these off. And that. Starting off, I have a compressor. This is very similarly to how I built my own pedal board. And I wanted this to kind of be the similar thing so I could see where the actual differences are. Let's break this down right here. The compressor right here as well. Here's off. Here's on. It kind of just tightens the transient a little bit. I don't want a whole lot of peaks. So that's the compressor. So let's skip over the vintage drive right here, and let's go straight to this grit. Looks an awful lot like a rat. So overall, whenever I am setting tone, I typically like to have separate layers of drive. So here's my first one. Actually, my true 0th level of drive is coming from my amps. Very little breakup, but you can kind of hear that. So when all my pedals are off and I'm just playing straight through the amps, I want a little bit of crispness from the amps. Here's my rat or grit. And let's bring in the vintage drive. This I wanted to kind of keep just as a little bit of a boost before that. So I might even pull this out and replace it with another one of these pedals as kind of a cleaner, because the drive's all the way down. This is a absolute 0 drive. It says 20 decibels, so I'm assuming it's still adding gain. But let's hear what it sounds like by itself. So that's still pretty heavy, considering it's got the drive all the way down. So let's keep that down, and let's kind of stack these, see how they sound. So you can see this a little bit better. So keep in mind, this is the grit with the vintage drive going into it. So I'll probably just keep the grit as almost like an always on. I have a few modulation effects. I kept just like a chorus in here. And a tremolo. So let's hear the trem. Now this is a stereo effect, so it is kind of bouncing between left and right. I'll raise it all the way so you can hear that. After that, I have my reverb and delay section. So delays are coming first. I think this is an analog delay. It's kind of hard to just tell without it actually telling you. So I have a tape delay and analog, pretty modest mix. I'm doing an eighth and a dotted eighth. So right now I'm at 72 BPM, and let's kind of hear what that sounds like. This is a tempo I usually find myself playing at anyway. A lot of the styles of music I listen to and really want to play are kind of that slow mid-tempo 4/4. And let's add in my spring reverb. Pretty dark tone, not a whole lot of time. So there's not a whole lot really to talk about right there. It's just kind of how the pedals came whenever you load them in, with a few things like time and tone changes. So I was kind of proud of that. I spent most of the time dialing in the amps, but overall, I think there's a lot of flexibility in here, and I'm looking forward to the day when they add some more pedals as well, because I know specifically I think some better reverbs in here would be great, because if there's another one, let me know. I could only find the spring box. Nothing wrong with that. And I'll probably make another video where I dive into a little bit more sound design, specifically with direct tone. At the moment, my pedals and guitar or other guitar are packed up because I'm traveling quite a bit, and I didn't really feel like setting that up to record a video, so. I think you can have a lot of fun with this. If you find this kind of content helpful, I would greatly appreciate it if you'd drop a comment or hit like or subscribe. If you want to see more content like this, that helps people find this content, because I know that if you're finding it interesting, other people would likely find it interesting as well. So I appreciate your time checking out the video, and see you next time.